Hi guys, this is Terrence from The Goods, and I just recently saw Avengers Endgame, actually for about the second time. And I normally come to you and do these things I notice videos, normally about the time the movie's about to come out on video, where I've had a chance to see it about 700 other times. But this movie left me with quite a few different questions, so much that I felt I should get them out now, way before we get lost in all the other Avengers Endgame stuff that we're gonna do on the channel. So with that being said, here's some things I noticed. So I'm going to assume that you've already seen Avengers Endgame since you're watching a video called Things I've Noticed. But if you haven't, here's your spoiler warning. So first up is probably the most obvious one, and that's what happened to Loki after he took the Tesseract when they went back to the past. Now, it's pretty obvious that this is a thread that they left because they're setting up the Loki TV series that's going to be on the Disney streaming channel. So I'm not going to spend any time with that one because, like we all said, and like probably everybody else on YouTube said, this is for the Disney streaming channel, and his show has to, make some sense when he's already dead in a real continuity. So this is a way for them to talk about what he's been doing or what happened when he got away with the Tesseract. So we're just going to move on. Okay guys, so here's the second thing that I noticed. When we have past Nebula being held captive and future Nebula is with War Machine on Morag, and they do the whole space server link up, space network, space same internet, broadband, or whatever you want to call this thing, where both minds link up. I totally buy that, and I totally get it. I agree with it, and I let it go as it was. But when she was syncing up with War Machine and they were getting ready to take off, she gets frozen, falls to the ground, and then wakes back up, and then the first thing she does is run to the ship and then make a call to the future. Why wouldn't she just hit her button, her time GPS, and then jump back to the future and then tell them there? Why does she have to make a phone call first to let them know that something's coming instead of just taking off? And basically, she had gone right back to the future at that point. Then none of the whole thing with Thanos and old Nebula pretending to be new Nebula or present Nebula or one of the Nebulas, whatever the case may be, shows up, and then that whole story is dead. They go ahead and they save the day and the movie's over. So that was a hole for me because I'm like, she doesn't hit the button because movie has another hour left of it. Okay, so the one major thing that I noticed in this film, and it actually leads to a bunch of questions, but maybe we need to just look at it in whole as one thing, but it's when Nebula goes back to the future, how does she bring the whole fleet? Well, before we even get to the fleet, how does she bring Thanos and his warship to the present day? Because if I'm not mistaken, they talked about having PEM particles and needing that for the interdimensional travel. And if she either gave her PEM particles to Thanos or took them, which would have been her only way to get back to the present, which makes the most sense, how does she bring the ship forward in time? So I saw the hand go up under the machine and she figured out how to use it, but without the PEM particles, how on earth was she able to bring this back? Okay, because it's not even just the warship by itself. It's the whole fleet. If you assume that when she shows him the PEM particles that he keeps them, then she can't get back to the present. If she takes them, he can't get back to the present. Now, I know what you're going to say is that, Terrence, you know what? Hey, they're a very smart race and they could reverse engineer it. And that's fine if you want to say that. But they have one vial of PEM particles, and within that minutes, and I know you're going to say it's time travel, but within minutes, he's able to reverse engineer it, make enough PEM particles to bring a whole fleet back to the present. That's kind of a reach. And if you are going to say that that's what it did, don't you think you should show your audience this? So that way they can be like, oh, that's how he did it. Instead, it left us with the, oh, they just appeared out of nowhere because Nebula put her hand into a computer and figured out time travel within 2 seconds without needing the key ingredient, which was their big basis on their time travel through the whole movie anyway. So I'm calling BS on that. It's just a major plot hole in this film, and it's just a thing that I noticed. Okay, so lastly, this is probably a nitpick on mine because I know probably somebody overlooked this one and they tried to address it beforehand, but then messed up at the very end when this came up. When Captain America goes back in time to go drop off the Infinity Gems, that's fine. He takes Mjolnir with him because he has to give it back to old Thor or past Thor so that way he has it going forward into the future. I get that. But he stays there and he shows up in present day with the Captain America shield. So, there's only one Captain America shield. He didn't go back with the future Captain America shield and just keep that future Captain America shield because it was broken, right? So, you would assume that if he has the shield when he didn't jump back in time, that he took past Captain America's shield. So where did he get that shield? He didn't leave with the shield. He left with the Infinity Stones. He left with Mjolnir, and that was it. He never left with a shield, so we can't say that maybe Hank Pym fixed it or Shuri fixed it. Nobody fixed his old present day shield. He had to have taken the old Captain America's shield. Okay guys, so that was just a few things that I noticed about Avengers Endgame. I tried not to nitpick the movie too much. I know some things we have to accept as they are and how they work within this particular cinematic universe, and other things I think they maybe should pay a little bit more attention to. But in either case, I love doing this video for you guys. But if you've noticed something else, make sure you put it in the comments below, as well as like and subscribe and click that notification bell so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel, as well as new episodes of things I notice coming up very soon. That's all I got, guys. Take care.